beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. It is your girl, Creatrix, and this is my channel, The World Stage. I am a spiritual scientist and a spiritual investigative journalist, and on this channel, I bring to you the most potent energies that are in the atmosphere globally and, around the world and such like that, okay? So today, it's a very interesting topic, okay? We are going to touch on manifestation, but more specifically, how to manifest your goals quicker, all right? And it's more so centered around time, our relationship with time, the way we think about time, and how to become a master of time, how to press the pause button when we want, how to press the fast forward button when we want. All right. So, at first, I have to lay down some foundational information. All right. The first thing is that our manifestations are actually predictions of what is coming into our life. Okay, what do I mean by that? Your desires, right? What you would like to manifest into your life, what seems attractive to you to manifest into your life, right? That is, you want to attract that thing into your life. You want to manifest that thing, person, place, or thing into your life because it is going to come into your life at some point in time. All right. So everyone has the ability to predict. Everyone is an undercover psychic. All right. Some of us not so undercover. Some of us are more outwardly psychic to where we have developed our gift a little bit more than others, but everyone has the ability to develop their gift, and everyone has the gift of being able to predict an outcome, predict an event in their life. Okay, and so that's what manifestations actually are. I know when we think, most of us, when we think about manifestations, we think, oh, I have an idea and I want to bring this idea to life. So, some of us choose hard work and planning and logical routes and this and that, and some of us use the spiritual route to where we use rituals and ceremonies and mixing stuff into other things and candles and elements and things like that. They both the logic and the spirit, the mental and the spiritual, they both complement each other, right? So the best way to manifest is to use both, but each of us has our own route that we like to gravitate towards, right? Whether we know it or not, right? Some of us use mantras, some of us visualize. We all have our ways of manifesting the things that we want. Some of us write stuff down, journal, scribble, right? But this is all a way to organize how we're going to get from point A to point B, right, in our manifestation. So with that being said, the way that we think about manifestations is, I have an idea that I want to get to. Let me use whatever method that I like using in order to manifest it. But in actuality, a manifestation it's kind of like deja vu, right? Deja vu is when you're converging with a parallel timeline, right? And you're kind of remembering like, oh, this feels familiar. That's what deja vu is, when you cross timelines, right? Just picture timelines as actual lines, right? Actual lines going in different directions. Some lines meet at certain points, and those certain points, they feel like deja vu to us in this reality. So a manifestation is kind of like that, where you are picking up on future events, people, things that are going to materialize in your life, but because you are attached, or you have a cord to the spiritual, which allows us to dissolve time and actually receive and pick and choose and gravitate to what we want at any point in time, because there's no time in the spiritual realm, right? Time doesn't exist there. So, but here, because time exists, it's only a thought, right? So the manifestation manifests initially as a thought. It's a thought, right? So that thought is actually a prediction, a vision. However it manifests to you, it is an inclination that we get about our future, right? That's actually what a manifestation is. So no matter what it is that you want to manifest into your life, believe and know that it's already coming, it's already on its way. It's just a matter of time. And the rituals and the planning and the logic and the ceremonies and all this stuff that we do, all the methods that we do to pull ourselves closer, right, to these manifestations, those are just those are just ways that we manipulate time. If that makes sense, I hope y'all are understanding. It's not that we are manipulating the manifestation, the thought, the vision itself. We are manipulating the time in between the point where we are now, where we receive the manifestation, the idea, the vision, and the point to which it enters our three-dimensional reality in the physical realm, right? So master manifestors, right, are in essence people who are able to puppeteer time, who have a good relationship with time, who have healed their relationship with time, because fortunately or unfortunately, I think it's fortunate. I love time. Time exists on this realm. Whether you like it or not, time exists on this realm. Our three-dimensional avatars, this three-dimensional tank that we're in, stage, all right, human tank, right, that we're in, there's a lag, all right? And I don't even like to think of it as a lag. It's just a reconfiguration that happens in the material realm, right? That's slower than in the spirit. And so I'm here to bring to you some ideas that you can use in order to lessen or elongate the time it takes for you to reach that manifestation, because maybe sometimes you don't want to manifest something, right? Because we don't even talk about how we manifest things into our life that we don't necessarily want. For example, I'll use an example that used to be really touchy for me, but because I've healed through it, I'm able to talk about it. But just in case it triggers you, I encourage you to look into that trigger, all right? Because we can manifest our triggers, right? And yeah, we'll get into that in another video. But so I had a really serious fear of being a single mother. All right, that was like one of my worst fears growing up, right? And I would it would come to mind. That thought would pop into my mind, and I would try to suppress it and push it down and not manifest it, right? However, I was doing myself a disservice by not facing that fear at the time that it was coming up. Because, believe it or not, we can avoid manifestations that we don't want in our life as well. Not only slow them down, but avoid them altogether, right? But because I suppressed that part of me, it ended up manifesting into my life because I didn't do anything to maneuver around it. I didn't intentionally plan, right? And how I could slow it down or how I could, sidestep it altogether. So it ended up manifesting into my life because I was passive about it, right? I didn't want to address it at the time that it was coming up, right? So I'm giving y'all a heads up on how we can grab onto the manifestations that we like and discard the manifestations that we don't like, which are really just predictions. There, it's really just information manifesting into our thoughts and our minds as events, people, things that are going to come into our 3D realm, right? Our personal 3D bubble, right? Hopefully, y'all are following me, right? So, the manifestation of becoming a single mom did not appear into my life right away. It took a long time, and that was because I did do some things in my life that kept me from manifesting it right away. I was able to maneuver and, you know what I'm saying, like what do they call it when dodge? Yeah, I was gonna say like football players, how they like, you know, maneuver around other football players not to get tackled or whatever. Yeah, so like I dodged being a single mom for a really long time, even though I was in like all of my relationships were long term. And with long-term relationships there are expectations, and you feel connection to somebody and all that, but um all of those relationships, the first two relationships that I was in, I was able to not we were able to not produce a child and go our separate ways. But the third time I did get married and I did have a child, and that relationship didn't work out, right? So I did end up being a single mother. So for a long time I was able to dodge it, but because I passively tried to just like because I allowed it to be a passive thought, and I didn't focus my intention on actively avoiding that situation, it came to pass. Okay, and that's with all of our manifestations, whether it's, oh, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire, all this stuff, right? Eventually you will be, but it could take lifetimes. That's the caveat. It could take lifetimes because this is a reoccurring game. Reincarnation is real. Like you can exit the game via unaliving, and you can re-enter the game via birth again, over and over and over again, right? So there might be a lifetime to where you do become a billionaire, but if you want to speed that up, right? And that's what we're here to talk about. If you want to speed that up in the three-dimensional realm here, that particular manifestation, there are things that you can do in order to speed it up and become a master of time. And there are things that you can do in order to avoid manifestations that you don't want to happen as well, right? And the thing is that a lot of us are in some type of illusion. I have to say this before I get into the meat of the video. A lot of us are in this type of illusion where we feel like things are mundane, where we just don't realize the magic that's already happening within our lives, right? Like there's just this there's just like this energy that I can feel it. It's just like this heavy energy to where most people don't see how magical everyday existence and everyday life is. And I'm not even talking about, oh, I woke up with air in my lungs today. Like that's a miracle too. That's amazing and magical in and of itself, right? Like thank God I woke up with air in my lungs, that whole thing. But really the thoughts that you think in your mind, and the fact that you have a thought in your mind and then you make that thought a reality. Like we don't even think about how amazing that is in terms of being able to manifest almost immediately. Like just think about it. Like let's say for lunch I want to have a salad, right? And you go and you make that salad and you make it happen. You make it the way that you perfectly want it to. You eat the salad and you're so satisfied, and you think yourself like, damn, I made that amazing salad. We don't even think about the fact that it was a thought first and we made it happen. So a lot of us have dismissed the magic that is in our lives. Like sometimes we expect magic to be this, fireworks and, you know, uh, pulling a rabbit out of a hat type of trick. And it kind of sucks because it desensitizes us to the amazingness of what being on this realm is, and the amazing things that we can do if we just put our mind to it. Now, making a salad might not be that much of an amazing trick, but just imagine what you could do if you wanted to become a millionaire. Imagine what you could do, how you could make it happen if you wanted to, invent something, cure something, stop a war. Like there's so many things out there that we want to manifest into this reality, but we don't give ourselves that chance because we believe that it just doesn't exist. We believe in we will accept that life is mundane versus magical because of the way that we're programmed, not because that's the reality, right? So I just wanted to put that out there because it's very, very important to have this foundation of being able to see your own magic, to tap into your own magic. All right, most magicians aren't wearing a top hat carrying around a wand. Most magicians are dressed in suits. They're dressed in average clothes, average hair. Women who use their beauty and their body, who take care of their body, men who take care of their body, people in general who tap into their good looks and take care of their body and maintain their health, that is magic. That's sorcery. That is sorcery, y'all, because everybody knows that people who look good and radiate and glow, and I'm not even talking about being conventionally good looking. I'm talking about in the spiritual. Like there's a certain air of people energetically that have high standards, that take care of themselves, that only put good things into their body, that don't um, engage in drama, that don't just let their energy spill out anywhere to anyone, that doesn't let their attention, be taken just by anything, right? Like that in and of itself is sorcery, right? So it's important that we start to begin to see the magic in everyday life, right? So let's get into this conversation about time, right? Let's say, let's talk about everyone's favorite manifestation, money, right? We want to manifest money into our life, and I feel like that's a really popular manifestation to have, right? Let's say, you want to be a billionaire. You want to be a billionaire. I was gonna say millionaire, but spirit made me say billionaire just now. I was surprised I just said billionaire. All right, so let's say you want to become a billionaire, right? This is you picking up on the fact that you will achieve billionaire status. This is a fact because you are viewing, or you are receiving information from a future timeline, right? So you have somehow been able to grab onto that thought and bring it into this moment in time, or whatever moment in time, and say, wow, in the future I'm going to be a billionaire. That's what a manifestation is. It's not, oh, I want to be a billionaire. No, it's, I'm already a billionaire in some future timeline. Okay, cool, we got that established now, right? And it doesn't matter what the manifestation is. Oh, I, I want to be flexible. I want to be extremely flexible. I want my body to be extremely flexible. No, you've already reached that. You've already reached that outcome, that goal. It's, oh, I'm extremely flexible in my body. How do I get there now? I'm in the future timeline. I'm already flexible in my body. Now it's just interesting because how do I get there? let's see how I get there. Same thing with the billionaire, same thing with any manifestation that you have. Oh, I have a lover that is so into me and is so good looking. I'm super attracted to them and they're super attracted to me, and we end up falling in love, and you know, it's just bliss, right? So these are things that you are picking up on your future timeline, because there is no past, present, or future in the spiritual realm. So your spirit self, your soul, is able to pick up on these things and bring it to you in your physical body, into your consciousness, for you to be able to now process the information, right? So yeah, let's take the billionaire example. So you know that in a future timeline you're going to be a billionaire. So what do you do? What does, first of all, you want to figure out which timeline, right? Which timeline am I a billionaire? Is it this lifetime or is it in another lifetime? I don't care. I don't care. I want it to be in this lifetime. This lifetime, I'm gonna become a master of time, and I don't care what timeline that billionaire status is. I'm gonna align myself with that timeline. All right? With that timeline, I'm going to align myself to be a master of time. So this is where it gets fun. Okay? So when you're a billionaire, in the how you align yourself, how you become a master of time, is in the timeline where you are a billionaire. You're also a self-employed. Okay? You're also really fit and really healthy and really good looking. Okay? And you also write a book. Okay? So these are the things that also happen in the timeline where you are a billionaire, right? This is where you become a master of time. So you don't have to, it's overwhelming to go, okay, right now I don't have a penny to my name, but I want to be a billionaire and I'm going to make it happen in this timeline. And not only in this lifetime, but I want it to happen in the next 10 years or less. Okay, but in that same timeline, if I want to align myself with that timeline, I'm also fit. I'm also a writer, an author, and what else did we say? Whatever else I said, right? So there's these things that you have to do in that to align yourself with that timeline. Okay, I have to get really fit. Well, right now I'm not at the ideal weight. I don't eat very well. I'm really stressed out. Okay, you got to tackle these things first. And my thing is, when as a master manifester, I don't tackle my goals just from one direction. I do a whole 360 and I tap into every resource possible that I can use to be able to fast forward my goal, right? So I want to align myself where I'm a healthy person. I have a hot body, right? So what am I going to do? I'm not only going to exercise, I'm going to eat right too. I'm going to supplement that eating with lots of minerals and vitamins, and I'm going to make sure that my lymphatic system is going. I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that my body is healthy and less stress. If I'm stressed out, I'm going to do something to reduce that stress. Wherever that source of that stress is coming from, if I can't change it, I'm going to stop stressing about it. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do yoga, which is also going to help with exercise. I am going to do fun stuff for me. I am going to journal, XYZ, right? So really it's a lifestyle change, right? That's happening. And then you have to become an author. So what do authors do? They write. So I'm going to focus on my free time when I'm not exercising. I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be jotting down ideas. I'm going to be thinking about more ideas, right? And inspiration and things like that. So whatever I have to do to align myself with that timeline, that's how you timeline jump. Is you make a decision to become a new version of yourself, and then you act like that version of yourself by doing the things that that version of you would do. Okay? And on top of all that, I'm acting like a billionaire too. I'm acting like I have money. I'm acting like I have standards. I'm just acting like somebody who got old money, because that's what I'm pulling in. Um that's what I'm morphing into. And none of this is passive. All of this is very intentional, right? And I'm also one of my best tricks to manifest what I want is to use hypnosis or mantras, right? Which is the same thing. But what I do is I record my mantras, and I put my headphones on and I listen to them over and over and over again when I'm exercising, when I'm doing whatever, right? When I'm doing mindless work. I mean, exercising isn't mindless, but you know what I'm saying. When I can, I'm listening to the mantras so that I'm affecting my subconscious in a way to where it's already accepting this part of me, right? And that's the magic. That's how you speed up time. Is you it's like a 360 thing. Like you can change. It's how quickly you can evolve and change and implement new ideas and structure lifestyle into your existence in order to be able to become the person that you are trying to speed up to be, because you're going to be that person anyway. It's just a matter of, do you want to speed it up to be able to experience that in the timeline or in the time frame that you are aiming to have it, right? Even when it comes to going viral on social media, the more you post, the better. The slower you post or the less you post, the slower you're going to go viral, right? But the more you post, the quicker you're going to go viral. So yeah, it's kind of up to you on how you decide how quickly you want something to manifest into your life. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right? And it's the same with anything, right? So I hope this video made sense to you. I know there's somebody out there that needs to hear it, that's struggling with wanting to make their manifestation come quicker. And literally, that's how you become a master of time. If you want to avoid a manifestation, right? Like if you have a fear of something and you want to avoid that, well, like I had a fear of becoming a single mother, right? I could have abstained from creating life. I could have been better at choosing a partner. There's so many things that I could have done. However, to be honest, I don't regret anything because it's made me a master. It's all of these lessons have made me who I am, and I wouldn't change it for anything, because now going forward, I know what to do, and I adore being a mother. It's such a pleasure. It's a challenge as well. It's a challenge, but every challenge that I face makes me a better magician, a better human being, a better everything, right? So there are ways that, like, when you think of something that you're afraid of or something that you don't want to manifest into your life, there's things that you can do to disalign or unalign yourself with that timeline. Okay, like if you have a random fear of falling off of something, right? I don't know why that example came to my mind. If you have a fear of falling off of something or breaking a bone or something like that, then it's better to be cautious and not put yourself in a predicament where you're going to break a bone, or don't be high up, or you can heal that version of yourself that's afraid to break a bone by understanding why you would break a bone, because um and only you can do that. Hold on. And only you can do that because only you know your life. Sometimes what we don't heal ends up manifesting into our lives, right? Because there could be, in a past life, there could have been an incident where you did break a bone and it was so painful to you that that fear is still attached to you. And by you not facing it and understanding why and what happened for you to feel that way, then you could actually align yourself to a timeline where you do end up breaking that bone. Like a series of events gets triggered and you end up breaking your bone. Like what are they called? Self imposed, like the Oedipus, the story about Oedipus and how he dang, what's that term? How Oedipus, there was a prediction. The oracle predicted that Oedipus was going to sleep with his mother and kill his father, right? A self, damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, what I mean to say is that, so Oedipus, he hears a prediction from an oracle that says that he's going to sleep with his mother and kill his father. And because he heard the prediction, he had a fear of it and he tried to avoid it in his life as best as possible. But in avoiding the prediction, he ended up manifesting it, right? So we can do that in our own lives too, to where we know or we fear something so much that we try to avoid it and really do our best to to suppress it and not address something, which ends up in the manifestation of the very thing that we did not want. All right, I'm so irritated. I know I'm gonna figure out what it is, the word that I'm talking about that slipped my mind. I already know it's gonna come to me after the video's over, but whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. So it's better to address manifestations that we don't want to occur in our life head on, all right, through healing and addressing the root cause of those manifestations.